Namaste traders and a very good evening. 4th of January 2023, Wednesday evening, we had quite a sell-off in today's trade. Let's take a look at the FII numbers. It was quite a decently large number of selling professional cash market numbers. Interesting thing is for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive trading sessions. In fact, if I drag it towards 12, 13, 14, 15, in the last around 15 to 16 trading sessions, only 2 days of positive numbers, mostly negative. So I wonder what the FIIs are thinking about or what will be their stance. But if you consider the first 3 days of Jan, the numbers are not that encouraging from the foreign institutional investors. As we talk about the markets today evening, I'll quickly take a look at the global markets first, and European markets are roaring up almost 2%, but it's the US markets which is flat to positive. Remember, it had created a big outside bar in yesterday's trade, and it will be extremely interesting to see that which side of this outside bar prices take out, because personally I've noticed that whichever direction price takes out, at least for the next 2 to 3 trading sessions, it continues towards that direction. It's choppy to volatile. The US markets, SGX markets taking a breather with a small gain of just 28 points. Now let's go to Nifty first. So what we have is, number one, the 50% retracement that we were discussing, I think yesterday, did act as a source of resistance. Remember, we had marked that these highs combine, confluence, not combine, with previous swing lows, and so this level, this area, level wise 18,300 to 350 is a valid resistance now. Considering tomorrow, if it does not take out today's high, like tomorrow's trade, if it stays something like this, then this will become a valid high for the index. Now we have a resistance in place. We have a big 200 plus points sell-off in today's trade with a decent amount of momentum. We did see a bit of a bounce back, which turned out to be something like a dead cat bounce, and it opened up further on the downside and closed near the lowest point of the day. Level wise, on the upside, these two bars, they're highs, and if you of course remember, if you're following my videos, that I've marked this red line wherein resistance had acted support, and now support is broken, support becomes resistance, resistance has been proven. Bottom line, this area is important from a short-term point of view. From a bounce back point of view, it's 18,200. 18,200 is something that you should keep in mind. I won't be surprised. I do not personally track the OI buildups in the call and the put options, because price behavior tells me that very clearly. So I'll not be surprised if you see a huge amount of call right up in 18,200 and then 18,300. You can check, but 18,200 will be crucial going forward. Tomorrow being your weekly expiry, 18,200 will be very crucial for any kind of a bounce back, if at all. Now the important question comes is, what if we open up further on the downside, and what can be the levels? Are we heading back to 18K? Are we going to break below 18K? Are we going to break below the previous swing low and make a lower low on the weekly chart? I don't know, but today's momentum sell-off has just initiated the next leg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand the 75-minute time frame, and I will quickly drop a projection using the Fibonacci, and try to find out that where can I expect some targets. So I have 18,100, which has been taken care of today. I have 18,037, we can say almost the psychological 18K mark, and I have back to the previous swing high at 17,833. The next level is pretty far off, so let's not talk about that, which is at 17,500. It's not valid from this kind of account. If I expand this move, then honestly this makes sense. 17,500 doesn't make sense from this leg down. So what about 18K? 18K of course is a psychological number. We had a nice bottom here from where we got this bounce back. So easily 18K of course is the next level that anyone would be talking about. But the important thing is, will 18K come? And if 18K comes, will 18K be able to hold? Taking a look at the way the large caps sold off today, stocks like Reliance and Infosys, possibility of a retest of 18K is possible. Break of that is also possible. We should keep an open mind, particularly because the 75-minute time frame which we are using for short-term trend has now turned negative. It has moved into a downtrend. So for Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty, any kind of move below today's low, both Nifty, Bank Nifty, will open up further downsides. There is no second thought about it. So for the Nifty, keep an eye on 18K, and the next level will be 18,330, 17,830, 17,850 kind of levels. Of course, we should be open for any kind of surprise move on the upside. In that case, 18,200 is bare minimum. As long as 18,200 is not taken out by the Nifty, as long as 18,200 is not taken out by the Nifty, expect selling pressure to continue for sure. Bank Nifty, same story. In fact, I think Bank Nifty did participate really well on the upside, did give strength to the benchmark Nifty to scale to a new life high. But today's low for Bank Nifty will be crucial. If tomorrow we don't see any fancy gap up or strong positive opening, gap up chance is very low. Any kind of strong positive opening. If we do not get that, if we see a muted opening or a negative opening, and if today's low for the Bank Nifty is gone, is being taken care of, then expect further downsides. Anyway, close to the 50% retracement of this move is highly possible. That is, I think, close to this 42,500 mark. That I think we will get some clarity on this, but at the close of tomorrow's trade, and better at the close of Friday's trade, because we will have a confirmed weekly candle. So bias shifts towards the downside. We'll look for shorting opportunities. Talking about shorting opportunities, yesterday in terms of stocks, I think I did talk about Reliance, one of the most important heavyweight stocks in the market, and it did open up beautifully on the downside. We had and we have an disclosure, have an open trade in Reliance. Those who follow me in YouTube or otherwise would know that we do trade, and swing strategies or pullback strategies is one of our favorite setups, and this was one such setup. I would not like to reiterate what I said yesterday, but it had enough technical evidences that it will open up on the downside. Maybe, I think I must have said 70% down or 30% up, something like that. So Reliance was a big mover on the downside. Tata Steel, metals which moved up, fell quite sharply, and I think there is a possibility of further downside for Tata Steel. We did talk about auto, and Tata Motors definitely is another stock which opened up fresh grounds on the downside. Infosys almost down more than 2%. But these are stocks that we have discussed in the past, in the recent past. I would like to discuss about two stocks. One an index heavyweight, and one a little odd, but looks like a situation where it can definitely give us a move tomorrow. Number one, ICICI Bank. Now, ICICI Bank may not give us a move immediately tomorrow, but it's at an extremely important juncture. One, it has created an outside bar today. It has moved and made a higher high and a lower low. It's created an outside bar. Yesterday it gave us a feeling of a hanging man kind of a pattern. A couple of days back it made a big red bar like this, not exactly an engulfing, but brought in some sense of selling. And since then it's kind of, stayed in a range like this. And then today it made a higher high and lower low. It's an outside bar. We call this an outside bar. The level where this kind of a consolidation and volatile movement has happened, the highs are mapped very, very nicely, and it's mapped close to its previous high from where this sharp 3-day sell-off had happened. So it's at resistances. It is facing resistance. It has slipped a couple of times from these levels. Short-term trend has moved up, but it's losing momentum. So if it opens on the downside below today's low tomorrow, then you have some, you can expect some more grounds from ICICI Bank. The other stock is not as liquid as ICICI Bank in the derivative segment. ESCORTS is the chart which finds my attention, is clearly a bearish engulfing. By no means anyone who has read any little amount of reading about Japanese candlestick patterns would clearly see a nice uptrending, short-term uptrend followed by an engulfing pattern. And weekly charts had given us this sell-off, which is this big sell-off, post which it has given us this bounce back, and now it's taken a halt. I feel that ESCORTS is right now in a situation where it's make or break. A move below today's low or a little bit below today's low can definitely open up a movement towards this area. This kind of a move is highly possible from ESCORTS. On the other hand, it is also in a situation where it can negate this bearish pattern of an engulfing, and if it surprises us with a move on the upside. Level wise, if you ask me, I would say 21.90, 91 on the upside. If it takes out that level, then all the bearishness that is getting built up here will hurry and scurry and probably get stopped out and open up fresh movement on the upside. The second case is the classic case, that it's a classic bearish engulfing and it can lead to a short-term correction, and below today's low we can expect 2 to 3 days of movement on the downside from ESCORTS. So you can keep an alert and track how it played out yesterday. I think that today's, based on today's close, tomorrow's opening will have an important role to play. US markets, of course, the way it plays out will have a lot of, clue depending on how we will open tomorrow. But in case if we open with a gap up, or gap up is difficult, gap down is possible, strong positive opening is also possible. If either of that happens, I would suggest wait out the first 75 minutes or 1 hour of trade and then strategize accordingly, right? Not to forget you have the weekly expiry. I hope you made most of the move, the directional move that we got ourselves today in the market. Till then, I'll catch up with you tomorrow evening. Take care of yourselves and trade well, trade wise.